Everyone, welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting for Monday, April 22nd. All rise, please, as we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll begin tonight with public audience. Is there anyone who would like to address the Board of Selectmen? We'll start in the back. We'll work our way. Try to be fair. Mix it up.
Hi, good evening. Susan Messino, 41 Madison Lane. I'm here tonight to inform people about a citizens petition that's been started to essentially say that we acknowledge that Yukon is looking for new sources of water, and one of the proposals is for the MDC to extend a pipeline out to Yukon and use water from essentially the reservoirs that feed the Farmington River. And in this petition, we oppose this MDC solution and hope that Yukon will find sources for its water that are more local to Yukon, and I believe they have at least 3 other options for that water, or that perhaps they would expand into an area that already has existing infrastructure. So I'm just coming tonight to let people know about that. It's just been posted online at signon.org. It's all one word, signon.org, and you can search the keyword Farmington and find that. And other than that, I'll maybe just pass this around the audience in case anyone is interested in signing. Is that okay?
It's a public meeting. So
Okay.
absolutely.
And that's all I came here to talk about.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Just to update you, I know the Board of Selectmen did direct me to write a letter to Susan Herbst, the president of Yukon and the MDC, and to testify. So we are on record of supporting your efforts. So thank you very much. Thank you. Anyone else?
Joan Cole, 26 Wickham Drive. I would like to report that I have reviewed my FOI requests for all emails to and from Deputy Selectman Lisa Heebner to staff that might be in violation of Section 411 of the Town Charter, directions to employees. No members of the Board of Selectmen shall give orders to any administrative officer or employee. I reviewed 159 pages of emails for 1 year to and from Lisa Heebner. Many emails were questions, but in some of the emails, Lisa Heebner gave directions on implementation of town issues. Many of the emails have can you, update, add, or send information, which in my opinion is giving direction in violation of town charter. The charter appears to direct all information and questioning of public policy issues from the elected Board of Selectmen to the first selectman, not staff. I would like to request that the Board of Selectmen review my observations and take the appropriate actions. It appears that the bicycle group has once again taken over town property with the bicycle sculpture by adding landscaping around the bicycle. According to town staff, none of these improvements were processed through town boards for compliance. Why can the Director of Public Works and the First Selectman override town regulations? And why should Simsbury residents have to go through intense scrutiny and the bicycle group gets a free pass? I have brought to your attention on a number of meetings that Dave Richmond, owner of 730 Hop Meadow Street, is still not compliant with handicapped access and CO for the 3rd story that he is using for his office. Why is Richmond allowed to continue to thwart all avenues of compliance and never receive a cease and desist order? Is this another town override of town regulations? I have a picture of the wall at Simsbury High School. And if you notice with the writing on the wall, anonymous, ANONYMIS. Is this part of quality education? Recently, my husband, a member of the WPCA, had a special meeting at Town Hall instead of the Water Pollution Control Authority facility, which is wheelchair compliant. As you can see in the picture, my husband could not get up on the platform with the wheelchair and had to participate from the floor below. This does not give handicapped persons equal access to participate equally on the town boards and commissions that have meetings in town hall meeting room. How can handicapped persons volunteer for boards and commissions when they don't have access to the platform for the elected and appointed officials to conduct meetings? I have reviewed the concerns of teachers at Central School through my FOI request and found many of the same issues throughout the school system. The concerns are too much paperwork, more communication and guidance needed. Curriculum should be supplied in June so there is time to digest the materials. Change timeline for students' assessments. More flexible teaching. Improved teacher morale. Traveling from one school to another reduces quality time with students. Reduced staffing in special education is of concern. And report cards should reflect new curriculum. More teacher mentoring, inconsistent support with media specialists, and in kindergarten, provide age on report card. And scheduling programs need improvement. I am very surprised when I entered the planning department in town hall. I saw a sign affixed to the entry stating, quote, "Employees only beyond this point." This notice does not allow anyone to do business with the building department, since this sign before entry to the building is before entry to the building department. Town hall and its employees are paid by the residents of Simsbury, and this sign does not promote a business-friendly town. Why the sign? In November 2012, town, state, and federal police raided a home at 1 Hitchcock Circle at the Eno Farms Affordable Housing Complex. James G. Crooms was arrested on allegations of drug activity and possession of firearms. The judicial website states that he was arrested for possession of narcotics, possession of hallucinogenics, operation of a drug factory, sale of hallucinogen narcotic, sale of controlled substance, illegal transfer of pistol, revolver, burglary, stealing firearm, larceny fourth degree, conspiracy to commit burglary first degree, and more. All this under the auspices of CHFA, Conover, and the town. How long was this activity going on? During the inspections, did anyone see guns and drugs in the apartment, placing the community in danger? Where was the oversight? At the last Board of Finance meeting, and here is the sheet from the judicial website, so I didn't make it up. At the last Board of Finance hearing, I was the only taxpayer questioning the budgets. The members of the boards who were at the meeting did not have the courtesy to answer questions posed to them. We the people pay the bills, and we the people should have a voice on the expenditures. The economic indicators show a decline in the economy. The reevaluation shows a decline in all property values. The grand list is greatly diminished. The Hartford, the town's highest taxpayer, is eliminating employees and leaving an empty building that will be demolished. And the Board of Education has a reduction of 112 students, and our taxes are increasing. Why are the taxpayers asked to pay for all these charrettes and studies? The town paid for many consultants' reports that stated that Simsbury should have a town manager with professional management. I'm still waiting for that to be implemented. The Hartford will do what is good for their shareholders and bottom line. The charrette is a charade. There is nothing in this gloomy outlook that makes me comfortable with
I've given you more than 5 minutes. It's going on 10 minutes.
I have 2 lines. I will
And then you're
vote
cutting
no
into
on the
Mr.
budget.
Couchman's time.
It should be noted that the public hearing will be held in the high school amphitheater on Wednesday, April 24th at 7:30 p.m. Why change the day from Tuesday to Wednesday? I would urge everyone to attend. Thank you.
Thank you. I just ask people to keep within the 5 minutes as a courtesy to others. Anyone else who'd like to speak? Yes.
Thank you for allowing me to address the board. Seems every once in a while I come to the meeting to remind you, and there'll be those that are sitting on this board when I address these 2 issues, they'll smirk. But I'm sincere at it, and I'll continue to do it. One is the United States Constitution, freedom of speech. the First and Fourth Amendment. I think there's 2 or 3 lawyers that sit on this. They know what that's all about, and most citizens do. And if you don't, I suggest you go to your computers and find out what your rights are. And then there's another Constitution that's a little stronger than the United States Constitution, and that's the Constitution of the state of Connecticut. And oddly enough, in hearing the bike path and all that, I go to the article first, and it says, Section 1, all men, when they are form a social compact, are equal in rights, and no man or set of men are entitled to exclusive public emoluments or privileges from the community. And when I look at this bike group, if they're not being given special privilege, I don't know what is. They're being treated as they don't have to bid when they get work done. Where's the money coming from? When you ask, everybody gets upset. And right, they try to lead you down the golden path. And it's not right. And that's what I like to remind you, please. And you're on the board. Why don't you read the state constitution? Give you an idea what's going on, the abuses. And secondly, I'd say years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, the state wanted to abolish the Veterans State Hospital in Rocky Hill. And I came before this board, and I was given down the country, particularly by Madam Gerke at that time. And she took me through the 5th degree, asked me what right I had to speak as a veteran, what I knew about veterans, and that her hairdresser was Jim Clinch, and Jim Clinch was the director of the DAV, rightly so. But what Jim Clinch or Miss Gerke neglected to tell the people was that Bob Kalishman had been commander of that same group, Disabled American Veterans, for 5 consecutive years, and was honored by my peers for that. So there's where I'm standing. And the reason I mention it is that recently we had a veteran just returning, a soldier, I hope it's not a Marine, but a soldier returning from Afghanistan, lives in Simsbury, committed suicide up in Barkhamsted in the reservoir. And the reason I bring it is that hospital, that state hospital that we have up there, that we have no longer, right? And you people are giving grants to this one, that one, and the other one, and these poor veterans are coming home and they don't get any care. No, we should have a facility with psychiatrists that we don't have in the state. And we don't have enough of them in the federal Newington or West Haven. And the thing I wanted to bring out to you, right? And here again, this is under a Democratic governor, right? Governor Malloy, he's up there in Newtown with tears flowing. He's up there in Boston with tears flowing. Where are the tears for these guys that are coming back and committing suicide? Or coming back with no legs? Where's the tears for them? And let me read a letter that's going on, and I hope you'll contact your legislatures. Keep Veterans Fund under the Treasury. We had a Veterans Fund for 100 years. It's called the Sailor, Soldier, Marine Fund. Keep Veterans Fund under the Treasury. The state response to needs of World War I veterans in 1919, when the legislature created the Soldier, Sailor, and Marine Fund to provide financial help to needy veterans for 94 years. I'm short 6 years. It has been taking care of veterans in need. Governor Daniel P. Malloy has proposed that to balance the state budget on the back of veterans and handicap and the people that need hospital care the most, than taking care of veterans. Governor Daniel P. Malloy has proposed that to balance the state budget, the state cut staffing of the Soldier, Sailor, and Marine Fund, remove the oversight of the state treasurer. This has been, the Fitch Fund and everything has been more or less controlled by the state legislature or the state treasurer, so there's no monkey business where people don't abscond.
It's been
with the
5
money.
minutes, Mr.
I'll finish
Kretschmer.
up.
Yeah, if you could just summarize, that'd be great. Thank you.
The state cut staffing of the remove the oversight of the state. He wants to remove the oversight. Take 63.5 million that's in the fund presently and give it over to the veterans organizations to administer. That's a hoax. As chairman of the Homeless Veterans Department of Connecticut, Disabled American Veterans, I feel that the most fragile veterans, the needy, will pay the price for this unnecessary budget cut. Haven't disabled veterans given enough? And oddly enough, guess who signs it? James W. Clinch. He's a trustee out at Rocky Hill. And I'll close. And I just want to close with, here's an article, Campaign Aid Guilty. The Donovan corruption of his staff that's been going on, and there was 8 that pleaded guilty, and I guess 7 are going to have pleaded, and the 8th is going to plead. And I just want to bring this to your attention. The corruption is in the 5th district.
Thank you.
And we haven't heard one word from either the Democratic administration here or the Democratic legislature, previous legislature, Linda Schofield. We haven't heard one word about it.
Thank you.
It's not right.
Thank you, Mr. Council. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes. Sir.
Thank you.
Super Narzik, 119 East Sweet Duck Street. I'm here to primarily talk about land use planning, but I have a couple of other things. So the charrette and the EDC study, the EDC marketing study, I just want to confirm that they both have a public comment area, more than public comment, public participation. And what my fear is in this is that we won't get true information from how the public feels. So I just want to reiterate, because of the fact that the RFP in the marketing study doesn't say anything about public comment. So I think we need to make sure that that's clarified. Because, you know, people do want to participate in something like this. And I was pleased to see, a little cynical, that Sean Askham embraced his inner NIMBY and was totally for the charrette for the Harvard property. Since you live near it, I know you appreciate that you don't want your property to be in any way, maybe brought down by what could go in there. So I would hope that perhaps you could go down the street to Mark Greenberg and ask him to participate in the study, because I believe I was told that he had been asked but had declined being participating in the study. And I'm not sure why, because I think that it would really bring just good land use planning. So I didn't know if you would have any, maybe ability to convince him that it would be a good idea on his part. Because it is probably more prudent to take and look at the entire South End as a whole. Because if somebody who wants to do something really good wants to go to the Harvard property, and then somebody wants to do something schlocky on the Greenberg property, they're not going to mix and meld, and it's going to be a problem. So I really think that it's prudent for us to do things the right way. And I think that, that would be something that we want to encourage. So I think we should all get T-shirts that say "Embrace our inner NIMBYs" and go out and just get everybody to, be on board with this. Secondly, my house and my neighbors' houses were all affected by a subdivision that happened over at 120 Sweet Talk Street. And what's happened is there's a drainage issue which was totally ignored by the Planning Commission. And when I brought pictures to the meeting, I was told by the chairman, we don't know where those came from, even though they were blatantly in front of the place. So he wouldn't even look at them, with all the water and drainage issue. So it took coming to the Board of Selectmen, trying to get this dealt with. And I believe that everybody's supposed to be treated fairly. So I am very, very annoyed, along with my neighbors, that this didn't get dealt with at the Planning Commission. And I'm going to delve into it further because I think it's important for people to understand how things work in this town. So I'm, pleased to see that our drainage is going to be dealt with, but I'm going to make sure that it's dealt with as well as my neighbors, because we were all stunned. Especially my new neighbor, the town planner, who's really been here since August and a little jaded now about the town. So, and lastly, I just kind of wanted to talk about the fact that I believe that the police contract as well as the public works contract haven't been approved. And I really think, in light of all the, bad things that have been happening around the world, I really think it's important for us to really support, the police and as well as the public works for public safety purposes. And I really think I encourage you guys to really just, settle their contract because, they work really hard. And I think, we owe it to them as a town. So anyway, that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Sean, embrace your anonymity.
Do we have any other comments? Any other public comments? Okay. Thank everybody for coming and for your comments. We appreciate your observations. We'll move on to presentations. We have a number of groups that are going to present to us tonight and tell us what's happening, all good things in town. We'll start first with Patty Jacobus, who's here. Patty chairs, along with Steve Mitchell, the Bicycle Advisory Committee. It's a group of volunteers who receive no money from the town, just to clarify for the record, and it's completely volunteer and really does a great job promoting bicycling, walking, and thank you and your entire committee for all that you do for the town of Simsbury.
Thank you, and thank you for having us and letting us tell you a little bit about what we've been doing over the last couple of years. As many of you know, I'm Patty Jacobus, 22 Harvest Hill in Simsbury. I am a resident for 30 years, a biker, a walker. I'm one of the original founders and directors of Simsbury Free Bike, which is a community bike share located right behind the old Andy supermarket in town. I'm also, as Mary mentioned, on the Bicycle Advisory Committee, where we tried to bring volunteers together to work with all of our town officials so we can kind of collectively agree on priorities and what to move forward on. So Mary asked me to spend 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. 5 or 5 minutes. What we've been doing. So I will go very quickly through all this. As you know, in 2010, we were designated a bronze level bike-friendly community. Last July, the group got together, we submitted another application, excuse me, and we weren't sure we would get silver, but what you get in return when you don't get to the next level is you get a fabulous feedback report. And it basically is a roadmap for all of us to say, here's what we need to do to move forward and really kick it up a notch. So the group has been working on this. We looked at it. We put together a list of about 12 or 13 objectives for 2013, all good stuff, and that's our game plan for the next few months. We meet every third Thursday of the month at the library, 10 o'clock. Come and join us if you ever wanted to sit through one of our meetings to find out what we're up to. Sometimes no good, but mostly good. I'll talk about 4 things. One was the committee, which I've gone through. The other is a little bit about Free Bike. Started in 2011. We had 6 bikes at Andy's and about 150 riders. People came in from mostly out of town, believe it or not. About 50% of the people that came in were from out of town. Last year we had about 7 locations. This year in 2013 we will have 13 locations in 4 towns.
Unbelievable. That's great. Congratulations.
Thanks. And if you don't know what a bike share is, basically you can go to any one of these locations. They're all located right along the Farmington River Trail or the Farmington Canal Heritage Trail. So $10, prove that you're 18, you can take a bike for the day. You come back with your bike and your helmet and you get your $10 back. It's a horrible business model, but I have to tell you, we have gotten such great support from all the businesses in town. Ensign Bickford was one of our big sponsors last year, and we're always out writing grants and working hard to keep it growing. Farmington Valley Trails Council also has been a very big supporter of what we do, financially and just in kind support. And I will say that we just finished the Farmington Valley Trails Council cleanup on the trail last weekend. Sean, you were there?
Yep.
And that, if you dollarize those efforts, in terms of all that manpower that comes into town, that trail is spotless right now. People went ahead and they looked at the trail, they did an audit, identified where the problems were, so that when the people got there were no questions about where they had to go. We set groups of people out on certain parts of the trail, and it was really a great day. And I think from a Simsbury resident and taxpayer standpoint, it's a match made in heaven with the Trails Council and the advocates from the biking side of the world. So, we also have, so that's Simsbury Free Bike. Any questions about that? The next thing I want to talk about is our calendar for the month of May. This is the second year that we've put together a calendar for the month of May. And it's not quite complete. We're still adding events to it. But if you look at what's on here now, the one that I'm really excited about is the Board of Education and the PE department is putting together a program for 3rd and 4th graders in 2 schools, Latimer Lane and Tooten Hills. So 3rd and 4th graders will receive bike education. Thank you. It's funded by grants, I believe, and we're helping with a lot of the bikes for them. PJ at the Bicycle Cellar is running mountain bike rides on Sundays and sort of beginner rides on Thursday nights. 2 big events. There's a ride with Mary Glassman. So if you want to meet,
Come on out.
second annual.
Right by myself. Come on.
Second annual Mary Glassman ride with the first Selectmen. It starts here at Town Hall, and it's a very easy, scenic, lovely loop.
Very easy.
Very easy. Very fun, very relaxing after a hard day. But then on the 15th, we have Commissioner Esty coming from the DEEP. And it's a combination. He's going to come to town. We have bike advocates. Any of you are invited to come and join us. Again, a very easy ride, but it will end in Stratton Brook Park, because it's the 100th anniversary of our state parks, so there'll be a little gathering and get-together there as well. So we're delighted to have him come to town. There's a lot of topics we'll be talking to him about. I think if there's anything else on there. But that's about it. And I will get this to Mary. She can post it on the website and also in the front lobby. And I ask you, if you're at all interested in what we're doing, good or bad, comments are always welcome. If you're on Facebook, go to Simsbury Free Bike. It isn't just about the free bikes. It's about all biking activities, all of our events, all of our free bike activities, what's happening in the schools, what's happening with technology. I mean, it's anything biking in the Farmington Valley. And because of what Mary has sort of helped us pull off over the last couple of years, we now have Farmington, Avon, and West Hartford all working to do the same thing we've done here. They realize what it does to the economy of a town. It draws people in, and it really makes people want to live here and stay here. So we're pretty excited about it. One last thing, not quite done yet, details aren't in, but usually Bike to Work Day, which is on the Friday of Bike Week, everyone goes over the mountain on their bikes, which is kind of a hairy ride. Mary's been there in years gone by, but this year we're going to have the first ever Farmington Valley Bike to Work Day. We're going to have it down on the trail. We invite everybody, retirees, stay-at-home moms, teachers, kids, whatever, come and enjoy between 7 and 9 in the morning. I'll be taking pictures, a little coffee, and just get on your bike duds and come on down and enjoy the day.
That's a lot. Thank you, Patty. Thank
Any
you.
questions?
I'll open up for questions. Any questions? Stan?
You don't have a time on the state park day? Do you know about what that?
The DNSD ride will go from 4 to 6 o'clock.
4 to 6, okay.
So, and we are still working out some of the details with his office, so we don't know how much of that time will actually be at Stratton Brook and how much of it will be ride. But as soon as I know that, we'll put it on Simsbury Free Bike on Facebook, and we'll have all those details there.
There's extra handouts, too, at the end of our...
Yeah, there's handouts right in the corner there. And then also, the Safe Routes to School people have been stepping up their activities as well. Lisa really helped us get the door open to the Department of Education. We have the curriculum in PE, we have the Safe Routes to School activities going on, and then even during the month of May, a lot of the topics in the regular curriculum will be sort of bike themed, which is going to be great.
Well, thank you, Patty.
Thanks.
Thank you for all your hard work and your enthusiasm.
I have
And
a comment.
yes,
If you like their page,
Yes.
there's an entry for a free.
Yes.
Right?
As a matter of fact, if
A
you
free
like
what?
our page between now and May 1st, you get put into a drawing for a free bike tune-up by our mechanics at the shop.
thank you. Thank
excellent.
And somebody's
you. That'll generate a lot of activity. This is terrific, and we'll look forward to seeing you in May. Great. Our next presentation is from Squadron Line, and we have some representatives here from Squadron Line to tell us the exciting things that they're working on. So if you could just state your name for the record and tell us what you're up to, that'd be great.
Hi, my name's Lisa Wilcox. I'm president-elect of the Squadron Line School PTO and chair of the PTO's Playground Committee. This is Heather Duncan. She's on the Playground Committee as well. And we're here today to tell you a little bit about the project to replace the playground at the rear of Squadron Line School. The school has two playgrounds. The one that's visible from Hoskins Road at the front of the school was built 6 years ago, and that's used primarily by grades 2 through 6. The playground at the rear of the school is used by kindergarten and grade 1. However, next year when the preschool program that's currently housed at Tooten Hills School moves over to Squadron Line, the rear playground will also likely be used by the preschool students. And if it's rehabilitated sufficiently, it will be a resource that other grades may use as well. The main play structure in the back of the playground was built around 15 or 20 years ago of pressure-treated wood that is now rotting so badly that many elements have become unstable, and they've had to be completely removed, like the zip line and the chinning bars, leaving just rotting, empty wood in its place. Aside from the obvious dangers of splinters and it being a very friendly housing for bees, there's also the hidden danger of exposure to arsenic and other toxic chemicals within that pressure-treated wood through splinters and hand-mouth contact. And this danger is particularly concerning when we know that the preschool younger children who are more vulnerable are going to be coming and using the playground next year. Our plans for the space are comprehensive. We have carefully selected our equipment to maximize the value that we'll receive for the dollars spent, and made choices that will make this playground very different from any other playground that there is in town, creating a new and exciting play space not only for Squadron Line students, but also for other children in the community who visit the play area after hours and on weekends. Our plan includes natural features that will foster imaginative play and develop gross motor skills, and includes a unique musical play area as well. I can give you an example of where we have worked creatively to get the most for our dollar. The play area has little shade and needs some sort of shade structure back there. We decided to strategically locate our selected shade structure at the foot of a small slope so that the hillside can be developed into an outdoor classroom with the shade structure as its stage. Our total budget for this project is $100,000. And basically the way that breaks down, the first $30,000 that's spent is what we have to spend regardless of what kind of equipment we select. That's for the demolition, the haul away, the site prep, the landscaping that's needed after the project is completed, getting the equipment there, and installing it. Following the lead of the last playground project, we're working on lining up businesses to donate much of this initial work. We started with seed money from the PTO of about $8,000, and 2 weeks ago we had a family fun fair and silent auction that some of you were able to attend and raised nearly $12,000. We also just were approved for a corporate grant from Stop and Shop in the amount of $2,500, and we have many more corporate grant applications outstanding. We have several small fundraisers planned for the spring, including a coin collection in which Simsbury Bank has agreed to match our collection up to $1,000, a haircutting event, and also we'll be doing a donor brick campaign where we're going to be using the bricks to create a pathway to the new playground. We hope that these events will raise a combined total of about $15,000. That leaves another $30,000 needed to complete this project. 6 years ago, the front playground was replaced. About $35,000 of that project came from the Squadron Line community. Another $30,000 came from a variety of corporate grants and in-kind donations from local businesses. The remaining $60,000 needed to complete that project came from anonymous donations from 11 local corporations, ranging in amount from $2,000 to $14,000. I'm not sure what precipitated these particular donations, but they were crucial to the completion of this project, and finding similar sources of funds for our project is vital to its success. I believe that these donations came from a lot of personal relationships and word of mouth about the project getting out, and so I hope that you can help spread the word about the importance of this project within our community so that we can locate those types of funds as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. I hope that someone's out listening with generous contributions. And
We have some pictures of the equipment we selected and a graphic to show where the $100,000 gets allocated.
do you have
Her lovely
in
assistant.
turn, you can face the television. There you go. That's great. Thank you. If someone wants to donate or wants to find out more information, who should they contact?
They can contact me directly. Again, my name is Lisa Wilcox, and the email is sqlplayground@gmail.com.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you.
You know, we, as you heard earlier with the bike folks, the town can't do it without all these volunteers working so hard to make our town so great. So thank you for what you're doing for the kids throughout the town, because everyone uses that playground as well, not just the kids who go to Squadron Line. So we're really grateful, and we'll look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for being
Thank
here.
you very much.
Our final presentation is always our fun spring presentation, and with us tonight is Mary Turner, who's going to make the Recycling Award presentation. So thank you, Mary, for all your hard work and for being here tonight.
Thank you. My name is Mary Turner, 11 Barnard Drive, Simsbury. I'm the chairman of the Recycling Committee, and joining with me tonight is our new member, Janice Kern. And every year, the Recycling Committee recognizes members of our Simsbury community who deserve high recognition for their recycling efforts. The owners of Weldon Hardware, Melissa and John Brett, recently partnered with the largest battery recycling company in the U.S., Interstate Batteries of Rocky Hill, to provide a new, important service to Simsbury residents. Now, all batteries, except those powering cell phones, can be left at their store for disposal, from the AA size to the large boat batteries. Weldon Hardware is equipped to provide safe, free recycling of our unneeded batteries. People wishing to recycle may deposit their smaller batteries in the green 5-gallon recycling jug across from the counter at the store, which is located on 10 Station Street in Simsbury. For a larger battery drop-off, please ask the staff there and they will assist you. In addition to the battery recycling, Weldon Hardware is also recycling 20-gallon propane tanks. As with larger batteries, just ask the staff for assistance on where to place these tanks for safe disposal. The Bretts are also exploring compact fluorescent light bulb recycling options. You are encouraged to visit their website, www.weldonhardware.com, for further information on these free recycling programs.
That's great.
Melissa and John.
So now we can buy our paint, and great. Congratulations.
Melissa and John Brett. It is our pleasure to present you with this recycling award. It's an annual recycling award for your outstanding programs that you are so good to.
Thank you
present.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Melissa and John, an opportunity to say a few words if you'd like. Congratulations, and you don't have to, but
That's okay.
Mary gave you a pretty good plug there.
Yeah, I will say really good plug.
Yeah.
Interstate Batteries is a partner we've worked with that is the leader in helping us out. Their local office in Rocky Hill has been more than generous. They thought we'd be doing a 5-gallon bucket every couple weeks. We're doing 25 to 30 pounds every week, especially after a storm when everyone's losing them out of flashlights and everything else they might be using, especially the past 2 Octobers. And if anything, they've been great partners, and especially everyone in town that's been realizing this has been a service that has been lacking, and we're just really happy and able to do this for every citizen and community member here in Simsbury. So we're just excited to continue on and see what happens next with more recycling options we can do for our town.
thank you for what you do, and congratulations and good luck for continued success.
Thank you.
Grateful. Thank you. Okay, that completes our presentations. Thank you, Mary. Welcome, Janice. Enjoy your recycling work. Thank you again. That completes our presentations. Just have a quick update. At this point, I just want to take a moment to remember the victims of the Boston Marathon bombers. 1 week ago today, actually, 2 bombs were detonated at the finish line of the Boston Marathon. We all know 3 people were killed and countless others were injured in what turned out to be the beginning of a week-long difficult nightmare for the city of Boston. With the pain of the Newtown tragedy still fresh, we watched in horror as two young men went on a killing spree for reasons that we may never really understand. Throughout it all, as we saw in Newtown, we witnessed acts of compassion, bravery, profound selflessness from the victims, from safety and medical personnel, first responders, from just people who put themselves in harm's way to help others. At this point, I just ask that we take a moment in silence to remember those who lost their lives, those who were injured, and to give thanks to the many, many people who stepped forward to treat them. Thank you very much. In talking with our emergency personnel and our staff, we thought it was important to remind our residents how important it is that we be able to contact you in an emergency. With those suspects on the loose, the Boston police and the town of Watertown police were able to notify folks through reverse 911 calls, instructing them to stay in their houses, off the streets, giving them updates, and giving the police an opportunity to apprehend the suspects. So we want to take a moment to remind everyone to please sign up for CT Alert, which is our reverse 911 in the town of Simsbury. It's very easy to do. You can sign up to receive either a telephone call, a text message, an email message in case of an emergency. It only takes a minute, and you can sign up at the town's website at www.simsbury-ct.gov. On the front page, there's a link to community alerts, and if you click on the link, you'll be able to sign up for CT Alert, which is the statewide alert, and the town's community alerts and regular news and announcements if you want to receive those. If anyone has any questions about how to sign up, you can contact us at 860-658-3230, or the police department will help you sign up at 860-658-3100, and the social services department will also help you sign up as well. So I just wanted to thank everyone and ask that you help us keep you safe during an emergency. Just a public safety message. Over the next month, the Simsbury Police Department, in partnership with the Simsbury Social Service Department and the Simsbury Youth Advisory Board, will be conducting a concentrated effort for distracted drivings on Simsbury roads. This effort is part of a continued education and awareness campaign against cell phone use while driving. So police will be watching. So please remember to drive carefully and not to use your cell phone when driving. Over the next month, you'll be seeing more police, and they'll be specifically looking for folks who are using their cell phone when driving. So we ask that you not let us give you a ticket, so you can comply. According to the National Safety Council, there have been 347,000 crashes involving drivers using cell phones and texting. 49% of all commuters have admitted to texting while driving, even though 98% of the people know it's dangerous. A no-phone zone event was recently held at Simsbury High School, and there were more than 200 students who signed the promise not to text and drive. The Simsbury Police Department has also met with a high school media class, and they have conducted distracted driving public service announcements, which you'll be seeing on Simsbury Community Television, and there are other events planned for the high school as well. Thanks to a grant from the Social Services Department, our police department is also going to be highly visible and with marked cruisers, and will be stationed in very high volume areas, and those officers will monitor for cell phone use and will take enforcement action. So just be on the lookout for that program. And then finally, I just wanted to let the public know that our own town employee, our custodian, Teddy Daniels, recently received the Connecticut Daughters of the American Revolution Community Award. Teddy was particularly acknowledged for his contributions in collecting clothing and collecting drives and donating clothing and other needed things through the veterans' homes and other churches and other groups. So on behalf of the town of Simsbury, I just wanted to publicly thank Teddy Daniels and let him know how proud we are of his efforts. Thank you. The next item, we'll move right to action items. First action item is to set a public special meeting date of April 26th at 7:45 a.m. to act on the town budget, capital budgets, and to set a referendum date of Tuesday, May 14th. As As we all know, and as the public is aware, we have a public hearing on the town budgets that's scheduled for Wednesday. It's a Board of Finance public hearing. That'll be Wednesday night at 7:30 at Simsbury High School. I do not know why the Board of Finance changed the date, but it is theirs to set, so it will be Wednesday and not Tuesday at 7:30 at the amphitheater. Once the budgets are approved, including any changes the Board of Finance makes to the operating budgets and the capital budgets, as is within their prerogative to change the budgets that we send and the Board of Ed sends and the capital projects that have been sent, the Board of Selectmen must approve the language to put on the ballot and set the referendum date. I apologize that we can't do it tonight, but according to state law, we have to do it in the proper sequence of time frame. So the town clerk must receive the budget before we can act on it. Since the meeting of the Board of Finance is Wednesday night at 7:30, the town clerk can't receive the budgets until Thursday. We can't meet until Friday once we receive the budget. So I hope that answers any questions as to why we need to meet. Again, we won't be taking action. We'll just be taking any action that's different from what the Board of Finance takes, so folks will be on notice what the budget will look like after Wednesday night. And we do have to set the referendum date of Tuesday, May 14th as well. And that will be, as has been our practice, to set the polling at Henry James Memorial Junior High, one polling place from 6:30 a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Tonight, however, we just need to set the date of the special meeting.
Mayor, I just have one quick question on that. Does the notice also need to include us approving the referendum wording? Because typically, don't we have to approve the actual
Yes,
questions themselves?
The question is actually written by town council, and the Board of Finance approves those.
Okay.
So we
don't do that,
We don't do that.
even though we did that last year?
We will. I don't think we approved the questions last year.
We were there till like 11:30.
Yeah, and I think it was the
approving.
capital. I'll double check.
I think it was the capital
Yeah, it was
items
the
is what it was.
I
I'm
did
not sure
check
there's going to
with
be any
the
this
town
year.
clerk. We've been meeting to set this agenda, and I asked the same
Okay.
question, and she said that that the Board of Finance will approve the questions
Okay.
on the ballots.
Okay, just
And we do the capital.
that's fine. My only concern is because it's a special meeting, obviously the agenda needs to say
Yes.
whatever it's.
And we'll be setting, this is not the agenda for the special meeting.
Understood.
This is just the date.
Understood.
We do have, we will get the actual wording once Wednesday meeting is completed. We don't have the wording yet to set the hearing. We just have the date. We also have a request from the Performing Arts Center to add an item on that agenda as well. They have an additional concert that they're working on.
Okay.
That's not ready for tonight. That will
Right.
be ready for Friday as well. So we will set the special meeting agenda once we have all the information. We'll just confirm the Board of Finance's question.
So with that, I'll move that we approve the special meeting date of April 26th at 7:45 a.m. to act on the town capital budgets and set the referendum date.
I'll second that.
And just for clarification, and any other items?
And any other items that are pertinent at that time.
And you're okay?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Great. In moving the capital projects that we have been working on since, actually this past year, that have had review by the Board of Selectmen, review by the Board of Finance, will be on the Board of Finance public hearing on Wednesday. We need to move the capital projects as approved by the Board of Selectmen to the Planning Commission, and consistent with Connecticut General Statutes 8-24 referral. The Planning Commission then needs to refer back to the Board of Selectmen with their action. By our referral and our vote tonight, the Planning Commission does have this item on their agenda for tomorrow night, so they will be reviewing it in time for the budget action. I have a motion to refer the capital projects for 2014.
Make that motion.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
The next item is to approve the Town Board of Education budget flyer. This is a joint public information notice that we have done in cooperation with the Board of Education for at least, as far as I can remember. And the wording really just states the budgets as presented by both the town and the Board of Education. It also outlines what capital projects will be on the referendum vote. This year, there's only one project that will go to referendum, and that is the Farmington River Bank stream bank stabilization, because it is over the percentage. We also added additional information on how to pay your tax bill online. And one of the key features that we added this year is not only can you pay your tax bill free online by e-check, but you can also set it to remind you to pay your bill. So oftentimes July 1st comes and goes, and people are on vacation or they're busy and they don't remember to pay. And according to state law, we have to charge 18% interest. There's no waiver, and sometimes there's very good reasons. In one case, we had a baby born, and the check was on the counter. So there are often very good reasons, but we cannot waive the non-payment of the bill. So this is just a way to provide some reminders to the public. It has been reviewed by town council, so thank you. Attorney DeCrescenzo's here this evening. Thank you for sending that over to the state agencies in reviewing it. There's only one proviso. I would like to approve this contingent on having it come back here. Obviously, if Board of Finance changes any language or changes the budgets in any way, the flyer would be inaccurate, and we'd have to approve new language on Friday. But we wanted to just let the public know that we do have a flyer that's going to be going out quickly, so it's in time for the referendum vote, so people have information, they can vote yes or no, and will know where to vote and when to vote. Any questions? Lisa.
The two pie charts, I noticed that we use different terms in that, and one says personnel and employee benefits, the bottom one says salaries and benefits and insurance. And I was wondering if there's any, I mean, there may not be time to make them consistent, but I was just wondering
Actually,
about that.
It was just language, funny you should mention that. That was language that is on our, has been on our
On the slides.
budget slides.
No, I get that.
But we did ask that change be made.
Okay.
So if the board wants to suggest that change be made, we can.
It just might be nice
It's
to
consistent.
compare apples to
Thank you.
apples.
Yeah.
It actually,
If we
flyer
can.
attached to this document actually has salaries, though this one has personnel salaries.
Yeah, this,
don't
we
know
did
if
ask
you
them to
have-
make the change, so
Yeah.
that the new change may have come in prior to going to, and I don't know if everybody got a chance to see it. We did
No, I
ask them
didn't
to
see
make the change.
that. Okay, thank you.
So the change in your packet was the old one, we did ask them to make it,
And
and
the-
I wasn't sure that the board got copies of that.
And then the only other question I had, on the back, it says BOF, and I just wasn't sure if that's a common enough term that people will know that that's the Board of Finance.
Good question.
I don't know if there's room to add it, but if there is, just,
We'll make a note of that, and if there's,
I mean, if
that
not,
doesn't change.
it's not crucial to me, but if we have the space.
Good suggestion. Any other questions?
I have something kind of along that same line, my day job proofreading. Typically spelling out the acronym in full when it's first seen, and so to that end, the benchmarking per pupil expenditures. On the third bullet, it does reference DRG, and then it says what it is below, but if they could actually say it in the bullet above, because it's not spoken to
That,
or that point.
I will forward that to the Board of Ed, that's their information that they supply to this project, so I'll make a note of that for them.
Yeah, if they can.
They talk about the DERG every time they present.
DERG, which used to be ERG, now it's DERG.
Yeah, acronyms are tough,
They
if you
are,
aren't
yes.
familiar with the,
So we have two clarifications, and I think time does allow it, because it's just clarifying a term that we're already using, so we don't have to go back for review. Any other suggestions?
Move to approve with the suggested changes and the provision that it comes back to us if there's any Board of Finance changes.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. The next motion is just to set a public hearing for May 13th, 2013, to consider the ABC House be part of its 2013 Neighborhood Assistance Act program. If you recall, this did come to us before, but the public hearing was not able to be held for scheduling purposes, so we just need to set that.
Move to set the public hearing.
Thank you.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
The next item is to approve the tax refunds as recommended by the tax collector. There's only a total of $312.57 in tax refunds.
Full month.
Second.
Any questions? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is a request for permission to use Eno parking for all Iron Horse Boulevard events and all concerts from May 1st, 2013 to May 1st, 2013. If you recall, we have had an arrangement with a local business owner, Fiddler's Green, which has asked if they could use Eno parking for all Iron Horse Boulevard events when there's not an event happening at Eno Hall. We found this arrangement to be very supportive of the business community. They run out of parking when there's big events, and the patrons often have difficulties using the restaurants and some of the Fiddler's Green services there. And so as a compromise, the town offered to allow them to have spillover parking, and this arrangement has been very beneficial to the businesses. So I'd ask for a motion to renew this arrangement.
I'll second that.
Any questions?
That's just when they rope it off, right? And then there's somebody there that only lets people in that are going to eat
If they're
dinner.
going to eat there.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And we've gotten no complaints. It seems
Yeah.
to work well with the community.
That makes sense.
Sorry, did we have a motion?
Yep.
We did. Do we have a second?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have actually two requests from the Performing Arts Board. The first is on our agenda to approve the Performing Arts Center event for the Jim Calhoun Cancer Challenge Ride and Walk, which is June 8th. And the second, which we would have to amend the agenda to take up this evening, it's a request from the Simsbury Lions Club to hold their Journey for Sight fundraiser on May 4th and to use the band shell to serve refreshments. This is an annual event, but the timing of the Performing Arts Board was such that they did not have time to get it on our agenda. They missed the deadline to get it on our agenda. Holding it to the next agenda will cause a hardship because the event will already have been.
Make a motion to amend our agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor of amending the agenda, take up the request for the Simsbury Lions Club, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll do that one now. Tom has the submission.
Thanks, Tom.
Again, it's an annual event that's held for the Lions Club. They still need to proceed with the public gathering permit, which they have already done. They are just asking that they be allowed to hold their event May 4th. They've had this event for the past 2 years, and there's been no problems, and the event has gone off very well, and it's a good cause, and it's here before you for approval.
Move that we approve.
So second?
We have a motion, we have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Get that out to them. Next item is a request to approve the Jim Calhoun Cancer Challenge Ride and Walk on June 8th. This has been reviewed by the Performing Arts Board, and it comes before you. There is a fee, a license fee, and a deposit fee that has been implemented by the Performing Arts Center, which I think is great. It's a win-win. It's great to have Jim Calhoun here, as long as he doesn't fall. And we told him to just be careful. And it's a great event, attracts thousands of people, raises a little money for the Performing Arts Board, and it's really great for our community. Any questions?
I'll move that.
Second moved, seconded. We got a second already. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. The next item is to authorize the First Selectman to execute the consent to solar power and services agreement permitting SeaTech and International Skating Center to proceed with the installation of a solar electric power generation system on the roof of the International Skating Center. Back before you tonight, and Bob DiCrescenzo is here, and Mickey Toro is here as well. Thank you, Mickey, for being here. And if you recall, the Board of Selectmen endorsed the concept of the solar panels and directed council to work on the next steps. And because it's a little complicated, I thought Bob could just walk you through the steps that we're being asked to take, and then we can go. Thank you, Bob.
Yes, this is solar panels 2.0.
We graduated 1.0.
Next on your agenda is Dorset Crossing 3.0. 2 weeks ago, we talked about this, and I made a presentation, and we, based on what we knew at the time and based on the language of the proposed contract between CTEC and the ISCC, we determined a lease amendment would be required. But we met in the interim. I met with Mickey, I talked to his counsel, and I said, here are our concerns, here's the ground lease, here's what it says. Is there a way for you to change your agreement so that we don't have to amend the ground lease? And there was. So I outlined in a letter April 17th and a consent to installation document which I created. And on the second page are the 7 changes that we think need to be incorporated into their agreement to make it consistent with the existing ground lease, because it seemed to be overkill to amend the ground lease to install what is essentially a higher efficiency way of producing energy for the facility. In our opinion, with these changes, it supports the recreational use of this facility. It cuts energy costs. It's green energy. It's doing all the right things. And we think with these changes, it'll be consistent with the existing ground lease, and you merely need to consent to it as the lessor, and with your consent and authorization for the first selectman to sign the consent, I think we can let Mr. Toro and his company get going on this project. Mickey, do you have anything to add? Yeah, we worked. Yeah, we're all comfortable with it. I reviewed it with their counsel, explained to him how this ground lease was a little bit different and a little bit more prescriptive than some he may have seen in the past, and that's why we had the concern about the term and penetrations to the roof and those sorts of things. So with that, I think we found a good middle ground. It allows them to move forward, and it is consistent with the ground lease, and it's supportive of the existing recreational uses.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks for work on this. I know the concern of the town expressed to you is that we didn't want to have equipment on the property after the term of the lease if the town didn't want the equipment. And so this was a way to address that concern.
Right.
And Mickey, I think it's great that you brought this forward, because we want to encourage all of our businesses to pursue solar panels and reduce their costs and be energy efficient. So hopefully other businesses will follow suit. And sorry it was a little trickier because it's not a typical lease arrangement, as Bob said, but thanks for sticking with us and your patience and moving this forward as well. Questions from the board? Okay.
I think it addresses everything from last time. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to authorize the execution of?
I'll move that.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. And then next is another frequent flyer here to the Board of Selectmen, and this is a land deal with Northeast Utilities, CLMP, and Dorset Crossing. And I know we do have a representative here from CLMP, and Dave, thank you for being here. First, this is such a great thing that CLMP is doing. I want you to make sure that you convey that back to CLMP. The additional substation is going to be a backup for us, and it's going to provide us with more stable electric use, which is what we need. And so we're really excited. And you'll be paying taxes on that piece of equipment as well. So we're looking forward to that as well. I know this is a very complicated agreement. I know the board endorsed the concept of working with Dorset Crossing and CLMP to get this done, so I want to thank the board for their patience. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Bob, and he can explain why it's back here in this form. which is the original form.
It really is the original form. Just to familiarize yourselves with the 4-acre piece of land, and you all have this unreadable copy of it.
Refer to the unreadable copy?
Refer to the unreadable copy. The large rectangle is the town's 4-acre piece of land acquired from the DOT in 1972 for $8,000 with the reverter language that says so long as it's used for municipal use. That's how the land came to the town. Since that time, the town has entered into an easement agreement with CL&P for the entirety of the 4 acres. I want to make that clear. So as we sit here tonight, CL&P has an easement over all 4 acres, and the town can't do anything on the land that's inconsistent with that easement. Now, things have changed, and Dorset Crossing is a development that impacts this 4 acres of land, and CL&P wants to expand its substation. So the Z-shaped sort of a Z-shaped parcel of land to the left of the 4-acre rectangle, that's the area we're always been calling Area 3. Area 1 is the lightly shaded portion of the 4-acre rectangle. Area 2A is the roadway portion, darkly shaded. Area 2B is the lightly shaded part. And I give you all that background because you really need to understand that before you'll understand what I'm about to say. In a nutshell, CL&P, in order to move this project along, has decided to provide funding for the state's valuation of the release of the reverter of $160,000 in order to move their project forward. I contacted DOT and I said, well, what's the next step? The next step is for the town to send a letter to DOT accepting the compensation amount. And I obviously need authorization from you before I can send that letter. That's step number 1. That will trigger the closing process through DOT. Nothing happens quickly with DOT and land transactions, and there's lots of regulations and statutes which govern this. It's got a bunch of steps to take, but at least we'll get that started. While we start that, they have agreed that upon deposit of 25% deposit of the land transaction, they will give the town, that can then give it to Dorset Crossing, a right of entry to work on Area 2A, continue work on Area 2A and to build the road. Dorset Crossing will then have the enough comfort to sell Area 3 to CL&P. Because in between version 1, 2, and 3 of this process, we all got together and said, why don't the land on Area 3 doesn't have to pass through the town? Why don't you, Dorset Crossing, convey it to CL&P? That seemed to make a lot of sense to everybody. And all this is expressed in the MOU that I've given you. But at the end of the process, what will happen is, if you approve it, CL&P will fund the release of the reverter for $160,000. Dorset Crossing will convey to CL&P Area 3. The town will convey to CL&P Area 1. So instead of an easement, they'll own it outright. The town will give Dorset Crossing a temporary access easement over 2A to build the road. No need to convey it because it'll be a town-owned road. And the town will convey to Dorset Crossing Area 2B for its development. All that's what will happen at the end of this whole process. This process will take a while, but in the meantime, CL&P can move forward full steam ahead with their project, which has always been our guiding principle, is how do we get them in the ground, given all of the regulations DOT has to follow to release the reverter. That's really it in a nutshell. If you recall, way back when in version 1.0, the original land exchange agreement did all of the same things for no compensation. The only change is CL&P under this version will own Area 1 rather than simply hold an easement. In exchange for that, the town it'll be taxable property with all the new equipment on it. And so Area 1, Area 3, and Area 2B under this scenario will all become taxable, whereas the only thing that's taxable now is really Area 3 because Dorset Crossing owns it.
Thanks, Bob. And it's unfortunate that it keeps changing different forms because the town actually triggered this whole process because of the road system.
Correct.
Where the Route 10 corridor study showed that one road going into the development was better than a number of
That's
cuts.
right.
then the developers did agree to do what we asked them to do, and as a result, it created a lot of these confusing crossovers. So
Yes.
the net result is that the town isn't paying anything, isn't giving anything
No.
up, and is ending up with the plan that we wanted for the development to minimize the number of curb cuts.
Yes, and the other point to be made, couple points, if the town didn't move the road or requested the road be moved, the CLNP, I think it's true, would have been more than happy to expand the substation right on the land that they already had the easement
Correct.
to do it on.
Correct.
But they acceded to the wishes of the town and moved it in the other direction to Area 3. And that's really what triggered all of this process that we've been going through with DOT. Secondly, I can tell you with all of this equipment on it, and it's probably better from a risk management point of view to have CLNP own it rather than have the town own it with a CLNP easement. Because then we shift, maybe I shouldn't say this with the representative here, the liability is then with the landowner, CLNP, rather than with the town. The same thing with 2B. Under the last version, 2B was going to become a public parking lot with the liability attendant to that. This way it'll be a private parking lot, taxable, and with the liability shifting to Dorset Crossing. So for all those reasons, I think this MOU and the process laid out in it is in the town's best interest.
It is. And thank you, Bob, for working with the property owners, CLNP, and Dorset Crossing. We are going to get a better plan. It's going to be better use of that parcel. We're getting an improved substation, and we're grateful for Dorset Crossing and CLNP to work with us on bringing it.
Anything you want to add to that? Or?
Dave? Thank you.
I just have one question.
Questions, yes.
I'm a little slow, but who gets the $160,000 at the end of this? The state?
The state of Connecticut, DOT.
I figured that was probably the answer. It usually is.
And, you know, I have to say, we did meet with Commissioner Redeker. The town had several meetings. Bob's had several conversations with DOT. And I have to say, they were very accommodating to work with us to try to come up with the best solution that wouldn't cost the town money. At the bottom line, when it came to the board, we wanted the road system to be cleaned up, but we didn't want to have to pay have the town pay
Right.
$160,000 to do that.
Right, we wanted to work around that.
Right.
And CLNP just made a business judgment that it'd be better off just to pay the compensation to move the project along, as long as at the end of they at least own the land.
Right. So
And,
it clears up.
DOT was just simply following their own regulations. They had no ability, First Selectman pointed out, you have no ability to waive interest on taxes. They have no ability to convey land for anything but its fair market value. So that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. Any other questions of the board?
So just to be clear, there's no capital outlay from the town, and we're ending up with more taxable property than original.
Correct.
Correct. And less risk.
Win-win-win.
Finances make sense to me then. Thank you, Bob.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
Move
Make
to
that
approve.
motion? Nope.
I'll second your
Fight you
motion.
for it. Okay.
Nancy got it.
I don't believe we have to read the motion to the record. I think that the motion speaks for itself, referencing council's recommendation in the submission. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. We'll
Thank you,
move to, thank you, Bob.
Thanks,
We'll
Bob.
move right now, and thank you, Dave, from CLNP.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you. The next item is approving the resignation of Leo Collins from the Performing Arts Board with our thanks for his service.
I'll move that with our thanks.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is to approve the appointment of Ed Kubasik as a regular member of the Performing Arts Center Board, replacing the vacancy of Leo Collins with our thanks for his service.
I'll move that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is to appoint R. Kingsbury Chase to fill the remainder of Alan Needham's term on the Recycling Committee with our thanks.
Move that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next is to approve the appointment of James DeVivo to fill the remainder of the term of Shannon Knoll on the Economic Development Commission with our thanks.
I'll move that.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is to approve the budget workshop meeting, February 26th, special meeting minutes. Need a motion?
Move that.
Second.
Corrections, changes. Going once? Going twice? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is to approve the minutes of the April 8th meeting.
Move those.
Second?
Any questions, changes?
One change. On page 9, Ms. Hefner thanked the Farmington Valley Jewish, not presentation, but the Farmington Valley Jewish congregation, who held a remembrance ceremony where names were read.
Find that.
Sort of 3/4 of the way down.
Yes, thank you. Any other changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Personality reports?
Yes. We had a meeting today at 6 o'clock in this room. We held a discussion of town used vehicles by town employees and asked, the Personnel Committee asked Mr. Cook and Mr. Kimball to do a review of policy and make recommendations for changes, and they said that they would take a further look. We reviewed the policy as it exists now and asked them to look at it to see if there were any changes that need to be made, and they agreed to do that, so thank you.
I just want to know where my car is.
Yeah. You don't have a car.
Has a car. So
You're not
I'm still
getting the car.
looking for the car.
You're not getting the car. Not out of personnel. We did a discussion of factors for consideration of review of unaffiliated employee compensation, but took no action. It was just the factors that they'll be looking at. And then the final thing we did is Mr. Cook gave an update on the wellness program and asked the Personnel Subcommittee to vote on the inclusion of unaffiliated employees to that program. And again, I just want to emphasize it's a voluntary program and all privacy rights are protected. We're not finding out information about our employees in this. The personnel did vote favorably for that, and so I'm coming to this board asking for your consideration to include unaffiliated in the wellness program. And I'll ask Mr. Cook to address your questions or add to that.
The only thing to add is that you will shortly be seeing a contract from IHS on implementation of the entire wellness program. This is based on our negotiations with the CSEA, the contract we approved with them. The model we used for negotiating the wellness program was a model from IHS, one of the vendors that we looked at. Last year, we looked at we've done a competitive bid for this, and last year the Personnel Subcommittee endorsed moving forward with negotiations with that model. This is essentially the core of it. So things are moving along very nicely, and it looks like we should have the program rolled out for employees who are eligible for it by June of this year.
Great. And I think it's great. I think it would be great for us to make a presentation to the Board of Selectmen so the public can see. One of the big savings for towns and health employee benefits areas is prevention rather than reaction. And towns are Simsbury is among the first innovative towns to offer programs which encourages employees to go to the doctor to get basic screening, and I think it's a great program, and hopefully keep our employees healthier and keep our healthcare costs down. They're showing significant reductions in savings for companies and businesses that implement a wellness program. So I think it would benefit the public to hear about that program as well. So we'll put that on our future agenda.
Yes.
Thank you, Tom.
That's great. So if we could take a motion to include unaffiliated in the, I guess that's for you to ask.
Oh,
I got ahead of myself.
You're looking for a motion.
Yes.
Since I'm an unaffiliated employee.
Oh, that's
Town of
true.
Simsbury, I will abstain from the discussion. So I'll ask you to take the chair if you're going to make that motion tonight.
Okay. Can I take a motion to include, could the record reflect that Ms. Glassman has recused herself from this vote? And I'll take a motion to include unaffiliated in the wellness program.
I'll move that.
Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Poor Kathy, we're driving her nuts.
Okay, so while Mary's outside, I'll continue with my reports. I'll go to the Board of Ed, and if you could let Mary know where. I just wanted to alert folks that Water Wars is beginning this week, and that is a contest in where participants at Simsbury High School seniors attempt to eliminate other contestants by squirting them with a water gun. This contest takes place over several weeks and is scheduled to begin this week. It's a non-school sponsored event, and in fact, participants are banned from competing on school grounds by order of the school. But I do want to let the public know, because, in the current light of what we've seen, and to be alert that there are people with water guns around town this year. They're seniors. This has been going on for many years. But the police did put out a notification to parents and students regarding water wars, and that is on the town website, and I really encourage all parents to take a look at it. And remember, the same rules of law apply. You can't trespass on other people's property, and use good sense, common sense, be safe.
Glad to see they renamed that. It was a poor choice of names when I participated many years ago.
And I also wanted, do you mind if I keep going? Well,
Go, I have the floor.
okay. I wanted to take a minute to thank the group of people from Simsbury, including Max Horton, Bob Knight, and Deborah Jones, who volunteer to help senior citizens prepare and file their taxes. This is a program coordinated by the Simsbury Senior Center and Social Services and AARP. And it's offered each year, and want to make people aware that this exists, and to thank those who volunteered to do that. I wanted to mention that over the weekend I was able to join State Representative Hampton and many fishermen in Stratton Brook early in the morning for DEEP's trout stocking of the brook. I don't know if anyone has ever done that, but it is really fun to watch. It is an amazing sight. And then we went over to the wonderful Fisherman's Breakfast to support our fire department. Mr. Hampton asked me to remind folks that the land trust is, that his...
You have to say it.
I know. Let's see, what is
I
it?
brought it up.
Johnny's Junk Jamboree is this Saturday. Used to be Linda's Litter Lugging Day from 9 to 11. So if folks want to help clean up the town, that's a great way to get involved. I was able to attend the Night of 1,000 Stars, and I am so pleased to report that our own Mr. Cook gave a wonderful reading that was well received in Rudyard Kipling. It was a wonderful, dramatic interpretation that I think was enjoyed by all. And then,
You in costume, or?
He was not. That was the only thing that was missing. That was the only thing that was missing. And
Armadillos, that was going to be a challenge.
okay, and then I'll wrap it up with, we're pleased to attend the Land Trust annual dinner with Mary, and I think you were there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice.
It was a very nice event, and just to alert folks that the New England slaloms are June 9th.
Yes,
down
we'll
the
have a
road.
presentation in May. So thank you,
Great.
Lisa. Any other reports?
A little short report, but the Zoning Commission passed the workforce housing overlay zone. So for folks that were following that, it started out as the incentivized housing zone, a program the state had in place, but after a lengthy review by that board, they really felt that did not fit for Simsbury, and so they worked closely with staff and came up with a program that I think will really help us to address some more affordable housing in town for the workforce folks, and they really did a lot of evaluation of the implementation of it and some hard work. So I wanted to thank the Zoning Commission and Hiram and the staff for all the work they did.
Thank you. Any other reports?
Just a quick one. Tickets are going fast for Harry Connick Jr. on June 22nd. So if you haven't gotten them and you want them, you better hurry up and get on the site. I think there's only about a third left of the seats themselves. There's plenty of lawn seats available, but and if folks want to volunteer for the event, there's plenty of volunteer opportunities. Contact Bob Hensley, we're the first Selectmen's office, obviously, if folks want to attend. I think I'll be volunteering, so encourage folks to come out for that. So it should be a great evening.
Thank you. Thanks for the reminder. And there's another concert coming, so we'll have that on our agenda on Friday.
It's going to be a great summer. We're looking forward to it.
Reports? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Our adjourn. Thank you very much.
That was me.
Yep.
They're all good.